Hey guys and girls, so today we're going to be showing you the Bosch T1B miter saw stand. I picked it up because I own a Bosch saw. Nice to have everything match, and Lowe's had it on sale for half price. It was $75. Had a couple gift cards, so out of pocket I was paying 25 bucks for this thing, so I figured why not, how could you lose? So the saw that I have is Bosch 5312. I'm not sure what the 53 is, but the 12 is because it's a 12-inch miter saw. And so I picked up this Bosch stand, and when I started digging into the instructions, they actually don't list my model in here. So it was a little discouraging to begin with, and then it's a little hard to decipher which bolts you need to use because there's one that's longer, one that's shorter. So by process of elimination, by looking up these and looking up these model numbers, I determined that I needed the longer ones. And then what I did is I laid it on the floor and stuck the bolts through just to make sure that they were the right ones. And I did stick the other shorter bolts through and they wouldn't work. So I know it's hard to see on this. I'll try to hold it up there. But this bolt isn't in line with that bolt, which is why under here you've got this slotted connection, which is actually this right here. So if you have these listed saws or the 5312 like I got, you're going to want to put the bolt and that retainer in so that you can use the slot to get everything to line up. So then what I did after is I pushed the saw right to this side here, because we know that this is square to the rails itself, or at least it should be. Locked everything in, then tightened up my bolts. I pushed it down to the other side, lined it up with the end again, tightened everything down, and then tightened the nuts. So everything should be nice and square and ready to go. So now, without a further ado, let's compare it to the Mastercraft saw stand that I was previously using. So it's hard to see, but the Mastercraft is actually taller. I haven't done the measurements, but I'd say it's at least 4 inches, maybe even 6 inches, which doesn't sound like a lot for some people, but just by standing here and, you know, kind of standing in front of the saw, I know that this thing's shorter, and I did like that this one was taller. So there's one thing. The other thing is these end adjustments. So if you want to put the saw stop up, you have to undo this, and see it's already getting stuck because it's finicky. So now it's stuck in that position. Anyways, it's a little finicky, but the rest of it seems pretty smooth. But you go back to the Mastercraft version, and to put the saw stops up, you just flip it up or flip it back down. Now that we're looking at this was one of the drawbacks of the Mastercraft. So because it's supported here or supported here at the back, not down the middle, it's hard to see right now, but this is not level. It's not level really until you tighten up the bolt here, and even then it's still on an angle. So when you're laying long pieces in there, what would happen is it would not be square to the rest of it, and could cause some bad cuts. Whereas the Bosch one, it's right down the middle. So it is on a slight angle right now, but I think once you tighten everything up, everything's nice and true, and it's the base load is coming right down the center of the machine and the center of the saw. So it should make for some pretty accurate cuts. You can see there that it's pretty much lined up right down the fence, and that's where you want everything to be locked in and supported. The next thing was the rails. So what I didn't like about them is that there's no adjustment in it. So with this saw especially, like I was saying, that this bolt here is inside of the back bolt, and they don't line up, it caused some deformation. You can see it there. So basically things weren't square in there. But the one advantage to this one is that all you had to do, pop it up, lock it back down, it's ready to go. Whereas this one, you've got knobs that you have to undo. It takes a little bit more time. Not really taking the saw, up and down a whole lot, but if you're a contractor using this on site, it's kind of a pain, is what I'm going to say. So there's that. The build quality, I'd say that the build quality on this is very good. It seems very strong. There's a back leg. I don't know if you can see it down there, but it can be adjusted so that if you've got uneven floors, like most basement concrete floors are, you can adjust everything. The footprint is smaller, so it's going to take up less room in my small shop, which is great. And it seems fairly stable. But when you go back to the Mastercraft saw stand, everything is much beefier. You can see the tubing, it's like a 2-inch tubing, whereas that's maybe 1.5 inches, maybe. Same thing with the legs. They're big legs compared to these guys here. And one nice feature that I have used a little bit are these little outriggers. And basically what that allows you to do is if you have multiple pieces that you're trying to cut, you can lay them across there. Or if you just cut a piece and you're trying to do something with the tail end of it, you basically lay it in between those two and it supports it. So all in all, I'm happy, especially with the price that I paid with this one. Out of pocket, like I said, it probably cost me $25. Even if it cost me $75, I know that this Mastercraft one probably was about $100 on sale. Had it not been on sale, I wouldn't have bought it. I would have just stayed with the Mastercraft. The Mastercraft was perfectly fine for what I did. But, being in a smaller shop, it would be nicer to have a smaller footprint. It's about 6 inches shorter, and it's not quite as wide as what the other one is. So anyways, I posted this just to kind of help some people out that might be having issues with how to actually mount this, because like I said, the instructions were not very good. Unless you had a bevel glide or something more expensive. But anyways, hope you guys and girls found the video informative. If you did, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. Think about hitting that subscribe button right there. Posting content fairly regularly now. It's not necessarily every week, but could be something about woodworking. I just did one about installing a dust collector. There's videos up there about making a shop dust collector or air purifier. All kinds of stuff up there. Could be automotive. Did a little bit of coronavirus stuff, how to make hand sanitizer. So check it out if you haven't already. Subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.